Okay. Hello YouTube, Edmard here with another Forza 5 video, and today we're going to be talking about Forza community. I think I'll title this The Forza Community, Let's Talk. Now hopefully I get everything spoken about, what I want to talk about, so if there's some things that I miss or I feel like I didn't properly explain by the time I get this on YouTube, then I'll put that in the description, or I'll try and put it together in a forum post, and I'll link to that in the description. Okay, so the Forza community. This video is in response to a video that another Forza YouTuber who's very popular, who I didn't realise was very popular until today, Mr. Aero HD. I knew he had a YouTube channel with a fair amount of people on it, but he's grown quite a lot since I last went on there, so that's wicked. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Aero on that. That's really cool. But yeah, I wanted to reply to his latest video as I make this, in which he talks about the Forza community and how it's died and how we need to fix things and all that. And I thought I'd just make a video giving my comments on the situation and what my thoughts are. And firstly, I'd like to address why it's dead. And the main reason why it's dead is the games. And I think the best example of, best way to explain why I think the games killed it is when you look at what people were saying in their 2 cents. When you look at Aero, or if you go on the forums and there are other people that are on there, or whenever anyone talks about this subject, they always talk about how when they were on Forza 2, they joined a public lobby and they saw some people drifting, and they met people in the lobbies on Forza 2, and that became the community, and that's how they got into the community and the forums and all that. And I was one of those people as well. I joined a lobby on Forza 2 and wanted to drift. I knew of drifting before I went on Forza, and I was drifting on games before I went on Forza. I used to drift on Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4. I used to drift on there, and then I went on Forza when I got an Xbox. Oh, for God's sake. There's going to be lots of that. Lots of crashing in this. Where was I? So, the game is what started it. The game is where people found that community. That's the key point here. People found the community by going on the game and discovering it through the user-created lobbies. And the way that Turn 10 treated those lobbies, well, not the way they treated the lobbies, the way that they just got rid of them and started to try and change the way the community behaved, is what killed it. So basically, along comes Forza 3. The community is thriving at this stage. At the beginning of Forza 3, the community's at its best. It's at the peak. And that's all spawned. All of that community on the forums and in the games has spawned from those lobbies, and has spawned from the platform that Forza 2 gave them. And then along comes Forza 3 and it gets rid of everything in the game that supported those communities. Everything in the game that those communities were using died, basically, in Forza 3. And if it wasn't for the fact that the communities were so strong at the end of Forza 2, it would have died immediately. It would have been in the state that it is now by the end of Forza 3. But because they were so strong, they stayed alive, and Forza 4 eked out the remaining strands of community that there was. Forza 4 strung it out as long as it possibly could, until Forza 5 just came along like a knife and just snapped it in half, and it all disintegrated into thin air. But basically that is exactly why the community is dead, because the games killed it. Forza 1 and Forza 2, I'm driving so terribly here. Forza 1 and Forza 2 they made a cake, and everyone ate the cake. It was so nice. And Forza 2 kept making more cakes, and everyone was like, nom, 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 nom. We really like these cakes. And then Forza 3 came along, and it started putting poo in the cake. And everyone was like, oh, it just tastes horrible, but the rest of the cake tastes so nice, so I'm just going to keep eating it. And Forza 4 then took away the poo and replaced it with some additives, which nobody realised were there. Everyone was like, oh, this is amazing! Until they found out later that the additives were still there. And everyone was like, oh, this is horrible. We actually don't like this. And people just started trying to just leave it. They just tried to sort of walk away from it a bit. And then Forza 5 came, and they just made poo cakes. It was just completely made of poo. And that just, all the remaining people that didn't realise the additives were still there in Forza 4, they've now left. And unfortunately there are still people like me who are still eating the poo. And frankly, I think the people like me that are still eating the poo, we're not really eating the poo. It's just there. We're not actually eating it. We're just leaving it on the table, and we're waiting until the next cake comes along. And when the next cake comes along, we're going to eat that, and that poo is just going to get left there, and it will eventually just disappear, just disintegrate into dust because it's so old. And what am I talking about, man? It's the weirdest analogy. I hope you've got a weird picture in your head right now. I know I have. Ooh. I reckon that analogy best describes why the community's dead. Because Forza 5 is just a massive shit. And nobody likes it. Nobody likes a pile of shit. They want to eat the cake. So what's going to happen now? We've got a dead community because the game's killed it. But obviously there's still a bit of community there, because otherwise we wouldn't be having this discussion. And that little flicker of community that's still there, the flicker of light, is going to manifest itself in the next opportunity, the next bit of cake mix that's being made. What's going to make the next cake? Something has to come along and make the next cake, because otherwise we're just going to keep getting poo, and nobody's going to like that. Luckily, the fact that we have a new generation of console is breeding new cake makers, and they are in the form of the Crew and Project Cars. And I personally believe that Project Cars is going to be the next console sim racing game that's going to really cause Forza and Gran Turismo to stop shooting themselves in the feet. Stop making poo. And hopefully Project Cars will come along, and it will make this massive this massive sponge cake that everyone really likes. And if someone comes along and they don't like that sponge cake, in Project Cars 2, they're going to make 2 sponge cakes. That means that the people that didn't like the first sponge cake really like the next sponge cake. And meanwhile, Turn 10 are just coming up and then they make another poo. And everyone's like, mate, there's a cake over there. I don't want to eat your poo. And Turn 10 are going to have to they're going to have to start making little cupcakes. And just drawing you in. They're going to have to eventually start making a lovely, gigantic, lovely cake. And Project Cars are going to have to make a bigger cake. And eventually we're just going to have lots and lots of really lovely cakes everywhere that are just awesome. Because that competitiveness and the reason and the fact that they're going to have to make more and more lovely cakes means that we just get more and more lovely cakes. It's a good thing. It's called competition. Okay, how long did I talk about cakes and poo? I don't know. Was it about 3 minutes? 3 whole minutes about cake and poo. So that's what I think. I think it's good that we're having this conversation because it means that there's still people there. It's not completely dead. It's bad that Turn 10's still making poo though. But it's good that we've got new consoles and there's a new era for other companies to start making cake. Which is really good. We want more and more and more and more and more cake. The more cake there is, the more other people will have to make good cake. And it's going to be great. In another note, seeing as there are still people out there who want to watch Forza videos, I think I might start making them again. Because I haven't made very many recently. Apologies for that. I've been busy. So yeah, I'll do that. Anyway, I think my poo and cake analogy is worn out now. And so is my driving skills. I'm terrible at this game. You can't even drift on it. It's terrible. Alright. I'm not even talking anymore. Just rambling. So yeah. Those are the reasons why the Forza community is dead. 1, because Forza 3 started killing it. 2, Forza 5 just stomped on it. But now, hopefully, there'll be a new platform for us to build a new and amazing community on. And it's going to be great. Hopefully. Anyway, that's what I believe is going to happen. Hopefully it does happen that way. But anyway, until next time guys, I'll catch you later.